independent orbital station in the remains of Halcyon's first colony ship, captained by Jean-Lee Tennyson and run by descendants of the original crew. One of the first two colonist ships sent to colonize the Halcyon system, UDL-001, the Groundbreaker, or the Groundbreaker for short, was the first colonist ship to reach Halcyon during the crossing. By the year 2355, when the Outer Worlds takes place, the Groundbreaker has since been converted into an independent orbital station and is now the only place in the entirety of the Halcyon system that is not owned or controlled by the Halcyon Holdings corporate board or any other corporation in the Halcyon system for that matter. Headed by Jean-Lee Tennyson, a self-described engineer turned captain, and the third generation of Tennyson to lead the Groundbreaker, the crew of the Groundbreaker is fiercely protective of their vessel turned station. The crew's protectiveness and dedication to maintaining an independence from the board and corporations within the system has led to these corporations gaining a respect for their perseverance and consequently has made them willing to allow the thriving station to retain their independence. Although the Groundbreaker is technically not run by the corporations, there is a Halcyon Holdings Corporation representative stationed aboard the vessel. Udon Bedford is a bureaucratic emissary to the board and is stationed at the main gateway to Halcyon Holdings Corporation controlled space. Bedford's main job is to impound any ship that the board has flagged. Depending on how the stranger completes the story, it could lead to the replacement of Bedford, with the new HHC representative mentioning to the stranger the screams they could hear coming from the waste disposal, which is where Bedford was disposed of. The Groundbreaker is split up into 4 different locations, including the deck, promenade, back bays, and docking bays. The main deck of the Groundbreaker has been converted into a commerce area for establishments and businesses to sell both legal and illegal goods to customers. 2 notable corporations known to operate on the deck of the Groundbreaker include Spacer's Choice and CMP. The promenade is the large central area of the Groundbreaker, which is also host to many more shops and other important locations within the ship. Semi-abandoned, the back bays are the lower deck of the Groundbreaker. This area has turned into a sort of slum and is home to both orphans and outlaws alike. In fact, Felix Millstone, who you can choose to take on as a companion, is one of the orphans that grew up in the back bays. And finally, the docking bays of the Groundbreaker were originally constructed to hold the personnel ships of the Groundbreaker. But the board has since struck a deal with the leadership that allows them to store their flagged and impounded ships in this space. There are a number of store vendors located aboard the Groundbreaker, but there are a few notable ones that can be mentioned, including Auntie's Kitchen, which we will elaborate further on in a moment, Bell's Shells, Ike's Armory, Spacer's Choice Vendor, Spratwurst Vendor, and The Lost Hope. Auntie's Kitchen, run by a robot by the name of Greasy, is a diner aboard the Groundbreaker. It is located on the main level of the ship in the far right corner next to engineering. You can enter this vendor where there is a locked door, which when picked opens to reveal the dead body of an Auntie Cleo's worker. Although the Groundbreaker has relationships with numerous factions and individuals, the most notable two include the Board and the Sublight Salvage and Shipping Corporation. Since the crew of the Groundbreaker declared independence from the Halcyon Holdings corporate board, there has been a tense relationship between the two factions. Since the Groundbreaker doesn't really have a military, the board is not too worried about them being a threat. Because of this, the leadership of the Groundbreaker often seeks to undermine the board in secret by delaying, stymieing, or pitting corporations against each other right under the board's nose. They usually do this through the means of black market fences, such as Gladys Colkley, whose office can be found in Rest and Go. Depending on the actions of the stranger, the crew of the Groundbreaker will either rebel against the board authority aboard the ship or continue to live as they are. The relationship between the Groundbreaker and the Sublight Salvage and Shipping Corporation is generally neutral, which allows for Sublight to operate an office and warehouse aboard the ship, which is led by Lila Hagen. In conclusion, the Groundbreaker is a mostly independently run ship turned orbital station that hosts a number of corporations and shops within it and secretly messes with the board right under their nose. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification icon if you never want to miss another upload from Project Archivist. If you want to support the channel, then you can do so by becoming a channel member through the join button on the channel homepage. You can also support Project Archivist on Patreon, where you can join a tier and earn constant rewards for your support. You can find links to both of these in the description. And with that, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.